I'm here at the Father Dyer United Methodist Church in Breckenridge, Colorado. Father Dyer was quite a character. He wanted to see Pikes Peak, so in 1859 he walked across the whole country to Colorado. When he got here, he became a Methodist minister. In those days they called them circuit riders, but Father Dyer didn't do a lot of riding. He mostly went around on snowshoes and skis, ministering to the miners in the mining camps. This was a real rough and tumble group. But before he died, he founded this church, which was opened in 1880. You would think that church is a good place to talk about prayer. Well, yes and no. Prayer is a way of bringing together who I really am with who God really is. And sometimes, actually, church gets in the way of both of those. Who I really am, well, a lot of us have the tendency to try to look good when we come to church. So you get out of the parking lot, you've just had a ferocious argument with your family, and people say, "How are you?" "Oh, fine, fine, how are you?" We want to look good. So we hide who we really are. Who God really is, well, church can sometimes get in the way of that as well. In fact, I've concluded that church is as likely to turn people away from God as to turn them toward God. I know the church I grew up in certainly was. I've written about it openly. In fact, I wrote a book with the subtitle, How My Faith Survived the Church. I have a friend who grew up with a similar image of God. Her father was abusive, and she went to a spiritual director and said, "I just can't use the word father when I pray, because whenever I do, I think of that angry, white, male, abusive father of mine." The director listened to her and thought for a moment and then said, "Isn't it time for you just to fire that God?" I felt the same way, because I grew up with an image of God as a scowling super cop up in the sky who is trying to keep me from having a good time. That image has changed over the years as I've gotten to know a God who's a brilliant artist who has surrounded this place, this church, with mountains, with wildflowers, with the beauties of Colorado. A God of grace and mercy and peace. Isn't it time for all of us to fire those wrong images of God and in prayer to get to know who God really is?